The following program has been brought to you in part by Sennheiser and the Airline Pilots Association.
Coming up on the flight deck, we'll tell you who's holding the flight and duty time regulations hostage, how the European Union could pile even more taxes onto your airline ticket, plus coverage from the 57th Air Safety Forum, including 3 airline pilots who dedicated their careers to keeping you safe and secure. All of this and more here on the flight deck. Hello, I'm Sharon Varab. Welcome to the flight deck. Today we're on location at the Airline Pilots Association's 57th Air Safety Forum in historical Washington, D.C. Known Crew Member, a new security screening program for airline pilots, recently launched at Chicago O'Hare International Airport, the first of 7 test sites. Currently, 13 airlines participate in the program, and nearly a dozen more are in the process of signing up. Jointly sponsored by the Airline Pilots Association and the Air Transport Association, the program will enhance aviation security and reduce passenger screening lines. For the list of participating airlines and access point information, visit knowncrewmember.org. The Senate approved a bill on August 4th to fund the FAA through September. This ended a 12-day agency shutdown that furloughed 4,000 employees and pulled 70,000 workers off airport construction projects nationwide. The Wall Street Journal reports that Senate Democrats and House Republicans went to the mat over a provision to cut about $16.6 million in annual subsidies for flights at 13 rural airports. Senate Democrats agreed to pass the House measure after the Obama administration indicated that Secretary LaHood would ensure the subsidies remained in place. Transstate's pilots recently ratified a contract that includes a signing bonus, wage increases, better work rules, and stronger job security provisions. This new deal would bring the TSA pilots closer to the industry standard. Captain's pay will increase an average of 11.7%, and first officer's pay will increase an average of 14.5%. Captain Jason Rusin, chairman of the TSA pilot group, says that the successful ratification is a testament to the pilots' perseverance and the negotiating committee delivering on goals. ALPA President Captain Moak joined government officials and airline industry representatives at a hearing to discuss the European Union's emissions trading scheme in July. The program aims to tax U.S. airlines beginning January 1, 2012. Most participants denounced the tax.
The European Union, with their emissions trading scheme, to be blunt, is a job killer.
Adding a foreign tax to your airline ticket, the scheme puts an economic burden on an already highly taxed industry.
And if allowed to be enacted, it'll be another ticket expense that a passenger has to pay, making airline travel more expensive. Less people will fly, airlines will shrink, Americans will lose their jobs, communities, large and small, will lose service.
The tax would rack up billions of dollars in additional costs for U.S. airlines over just the next several years. Government and industry officials both say that the EU's action to unilaterally impose the policy is at odds with customary international law. The Airline Pilots Association says that delaying the flight and duty time regulations and minimum rest requirements continues to place the safety of airline operations at risk. The association expressed concern that the Office of Management and Budget is holding up the process. Congress mandated an August 1 deadline, which the White House has obviously missed. To urge this process along, ALPA President Captain Moak asked members of the union to participate in a call to action. You can send along your message to President Obama on this matter at flightdeck.alpa.org. Hear what aviation leaders have to say about this and other hot topics after the break.
From the first time I boarded a commercial plane as its pilot, I've embraced the responsibility I have to the safety of my passengers and crew. And I have the best flight gear, even the headset certified for commercial duty. It lets me concentrate on the task at hand, making this the safest flight my passengers will ever have.
The feature-packed HMEC 26 provides long wearing comfort and more than 18 dB of noise reduction. Try the HMEC 26 on your next flight and hear the difference for yourself.
Hi, my name is Ryan. I'm from Bethesda, Maryland, and I wanted to ask a pilot, how do you know when turbulence is coming?
Good question, Ryan. Certain weather conditions generally indicate turbulence is around. The jet stream, mountain waves, cumulus clouds, and certain terrain features. The best way to know if turbulence is coming, however, is to use what's called a PIREP, a pilot report. All you do is ask a pilot who has flown that same route and that same altitude just a few minutes earlier.
ALPA, the largest non-governmental safety organization in the world, holds the Air Safety Forum every year. It brings together aviation experts to explore the challenges facing the industry today. As it turns out, all the heavy hitters agree on the top agenda items. First, flight and duty time regulations. Captain Lee Moak, ALPA president, says special interests are holding the rule hostage in the political arena.
But I tell you, flight time, duty time is a critical safety regulation, and it needs to be through the OMB and put in effect as soon as possible.
Deborah Hersman, chair of the National Transportation Safety Board, echoed these sentiments.
We share your frustration with the special interests who are putting profits ahead of safety and slow-rolling the publication of a final rule.
FAA Administrator Randy Babbitt added the agency shutdown to the political battle going on in Washington, D.C.
We will do everything that we can do to prevent Congress from using the FAA as a bargaining chip when they have their larger political disagreements.
After describing the 75,000 jobs lost during the shutdown, Babbitt went on to describe the uncollected revenue.
We also lost $400 million in uncollected airline ticket taxes. This is the money that is collected and designed to build our infrastructure. This is what's building our next generation of air traffic control systems.
And that leads us to U.S. Ambassador to ICAO Dwayne Worth's agenda items, which included pilot fatigue, but also focused on how to ensure the next generation of aviation systems around the world should communicate with each other.
Because over the next 10 years, already mature air traffic management programs around the world plan to spend $120 billion as they upgrade their systems. I think you would all agree it is absolutely vital that all of that investment is focused around a common global plan to ensure that we all end up with an interoperable global system that maximizes all that effort and all that investment.
Finally, John Pistol, the administrator of the Transportation Security Administration, told attendees that aviation, both passenger and cargo, remains a target. He also agreed that the agency should allot their limited resources toward the unknown.
Clearly, when it comes to passenger security, an informed traveling public is one of our most effective tools in terms of being aware of surroundings, see something, say something, but being prepared to go through a checkpoint so we can then focus on those that we know the least about.
The association ended the 4-day event by honoring its dedicated pilot representatives. We'll cover that later in the show, but now it's time to visit the Sennheiser booth to see who wins the coveted headset.
Hi, I'm Dave Dunlap with Sennheiser Aviation. Sennheiser is very happy to be here at this year's ALPA Air Safety Forum to choose the grand prize winner of the FlightDeck Watch and Win competition. One of these 6 lucky finalists, Carl, Paul, Luis, Richard, Kirk, or Mark, is going to win an HMEC 26T aviation headset with the cable and feature set of their choice. Tim Mell of Sennheiser Canada is going to assist with the drawing. Tim? We've added some crumpled up paper into the wheel to make the balls rattle around a little bit better. Congratulations, Paul Peace. You've won an HMEC 26T headset.
Thank you, Sennheiser, for making the Watch and Win contest possible. We appreciate your support. Now, on to today's segment. First, congratulations Clarence Jackson for making it to the next round. You were randomly selected from the correct entries from our last episode. Clarence will now be entered into the grand prize drawing for a chance to win the next Sennheiser headset. On to today's question. How many employees did the FAA furlough during the shutdown? Visit our website to submit the answer for your chance to win. We're wrapping up this special on-location edition of the Flight Deck by celebrating the pilots ALPA honored at the forum. Every year, ALPA acknowledges pilots who've contributed their lives' work to advancing the safety and security of the piloting profession. This year, the top safety award went to Pete Frey, a Delta Airlines captain, for his driving force in accident and incident investigations. Captain Frey garnered the praise of his fellow pilots as the coordinator for ALPA's team participating in the accident investigation for Colgan Air Flight 3407.
I get a lot of compliments over my conduct there. But what really amazed me, and my pride wasn't in my own action because I did very little other than stand up and nominate our representatives. My pride was in the pilots and the staff that quickly were able to round up and find the technical expertise and pilots available to assist us in this investigation.
The top security award went to Captain Bob Hesselbein, a Delta Airlines pilot, for his efforts to advance aviation security.
The need for robust aviation security will outlast my participation indeed. The need to protect our passengers, our airplanes, and cargo, our livelihoods, will not expire. 10 years after 9/11, although the attacks and the threats seem muted, it's not absent. And we, those of us in this room, guests, government, and ALPA, must continue the hard work of vigilance and advocacy.
Among his achievements, Captain Hesselbein began an initiative called Threatened Airspace Management, which is aimed at modifying the air traffic control procedures used during any type of security-related event involving airborne aircraft. And First Officer Mimi Tompkins, a Hawaiian Airlines pilot, earned the Pilot Assistance Award for her exceptional leadership in supporting airline pilots who experience serious psychological trauma.
When everyone gives me this award and says that this program is because of me, it isn't true. It's because of all of the many, many ALPA volunteers that have worked together and who've supported us, who came to us and told us their stories of incidents or accidents and the stress reactions that they had that they never had talked about because they never felt safe to do it.
First Officer Tompkins helped develop ALPA's Pilot Assistance Program and chaired the Critical Incident Response Program from 1996 to 2001. We'll share her amazingly inspirational story on a later edition, so please stay tuned. That's it for this special Air Safety Forum edition of the Flight Deck. Thank you for watching. If you have any feedback about this episode, please let us know at flightdeck@alpa.org. Thanks again, and I'll see you next month here on the Flight Deck.